loves, welcome back. It's me, Jenny. How is everybody doing today? I hope you guys are all doing well. So today we're going to talk about self-care oracle decks. I love oracle decks. I have been using oracle decks for a few years now, and I actually love my decks, and I use them for a lot of things. And one of the things that I use them for is for a self-care routine that I have on Sundays. Now I have here five, one, two, three, four, five, six, five, six with this one over here, but this is a new one, so I don't want to like really add this one in with this bundle. But I got five here, five oracle decks here that I really reach for self-care. It really gives me a lot of guidance and gives me a lot of clarity when I use these decks. There's a really strong attachment to one of these decks that I have, well actually two, because they're really the first ones that I ever used when I started to get a little bit more involved with oracle decks. Now, just so that you all understand, this is not a necessity. You don't need oracle decks. You don't need specific ones. You can use the ones that you have at home, or you can probably get one of these if you want, or depending on your situation, right? Depending, everybody has different situation. I just don't want you to feel forced or feel that you need to get these oracle decks to obtain a purpose, because you don't, okay? You don't need them. But I do use them and I do have them, so it would make sense for me to discuss it with you guys. I have my notes here, so I'm gonna kind of like go back and forth so I don't forget what I really want to say and what I really want to point out to you guys. So, okay, so why use oracle decks? Yeah, people use oracle decks for different reasons. For me, I love using oracle decks because it gives me a lot of clarity. It gives me a lot of understanding. If I have an issue, if I have a problem, if I have a question, I tend to sometimes really get more of a better understanding when I use oracle decks. It's something that I really love to use. I'm really grown to be really loving this system and loving using them. And I do have quite a few. I wanted to actually put more up here, but because this is like kind of like self-care, I didn't want to like overwhelm you with so many decks. So all right, so let's talk about the decks that I have here in front of me. Now, the very first deck, and this is in no particular order, that I would recommend if you are starting new in this path, or if you are just really getting to understand a little bit more about oracle decks and you just don't want to get too much in depth, or if you have like a self-care routine and you feel like you don't really need too much of a in-depth reading, you just want to get like a simple, what can I do at the moment kind of reading. This is one of them that I got on Amazon. It's called Enchanting Path Oracle Deck. It doesn't have a guidebook, which I think is awesome because it's very intuitively, yeah? So when you use these cards, you're using your intuition. You don't have a guide that will give you ideas, which I think is a good idea. So the backing on these cards look like this. They're very beautiful. These are very inexpensive. I think I got these for like, I don't know, I want to say maybe $15. It's just super inexpensive. But the meanings, like the phrases and the reading that you get from these decks are very like in depth and very like to the point, yeah, to the point. So it's very simple too. It's nothing like heavy. You only get like one keyword, and then you get a little bit of like an understanding of the keyword. So for example, this keyword says nature, and you do have like a little nice scenery of a nature kind of environment over here. And then the bottom says connect with nature to ground and inspire yourself. So these are very inspirational messages in this deck that really gives you joy, yeah, and it really gives you a lot of like clarity. So this one says harmony, and you have like a woman sitting here, like in a kind of like in a meditation position. And the bottom says create harmony in your relationship and surroundings. So it's just a very simple, to the point messages, which I tend to like when I'm doing these kind of routines, because I don't want anything heavy. I really don't. And I just think that these are just very, very, very simple but very empowering messages that you can really get from here. This one says success, and it says believe that success is within your reach. See how like very simple and like to the point these are. So I like these a lot. These are really, really pretty, and they're very inexpensive. And if you just don't want anything too deep, these are really great for that. Another one that I think is also really great for self-care or for reflection or just for like a simple, not too deep reading is The Secret Destiny. If I had to recommend any of the decks in here, this will be my number one. I cannot live with this deck. This deck to me is like, I love this deck. I have grown to love and just really just adore this deck. Is one of my first decks that I really connected with, and I guess maybe that's probably why I have this really attachment to it. But this deck is very beautiful. I honestly think that out of all these decks, if you had to like invest in one, I would absolutely 100,000% recommend you this deck. It's called Sacred Destiny Oracle. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful deck. The backings on this deck is absolutely just beautiful. And the images are just, these images just are so beautiful. Okay, just so beautiful. I'm going to show you a few. You get a keyword, one keyword, and then you have the guidebook that is super, super, super amazing and so informative and great. But these decks, I'll be honest with you, I absolutely love this deck. I love the images, I love the layout, I love the one keyword, I love everything about this deck. I will not be able to ever let go of this deck. If I had to run out the door and grab an Oracle deck, this would be the first one that I grab. I love it. And I even have I even bought myself a backup for this, because it's just one of those decks that is just, you know, when someone says to you, oh, I have my deck that is my favorite and I just cannot live without, this will be one of them for me. And I love the images. The images in this deck are just so peaceful, so calming, so, just so like beautiful and so simple. It's just a perfect deck for self-care and just for reflecting and just for clarity. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I love everything about this deck. There isn't anything that I don't like about this deck, and I absolutely recommend it 100%. 100%. I don't want to go through all of them, but you have the idea how beautiful these are, right? It's just beautiful. Beautiful. All right, I love it. And the guidebook is very, very, very good too as well. So that's for the sacred destiny. This is another one that I love and also recommend. And also one of my very first kind of decks that I really got involved with. This deck is beautiful. Very easy to read, very simple, very like down to the point, and very eye-opener. It's just a very great deck to have. Again, wonderful for reflection, wonderful for self-care. In my mind, these are perfect for self-care, because again, when you're doing self-care and you're doing this kind of routine, you don't want anything heavy. You don't want anything really, really like heavy to kind of like get you in that heavy mood. You just want to be in a chill, relaxed environment, and you just don't want to have any kind of like heavy energy. And if you have a heavy reading, then it's not going to really work for you, right? So this is another wonderful deck called Wisdom of the Oracle. Again, very beautiful, very, very lovely. The images in here are absolutely gorgeous as well. And the guidebook in this deck is very beautiful. Very, very, very good. You would definitely get a lot of wonderful information and wonderful clarity and wonderful reflection when you work with this deck. I've always have really good feedback with these cards, always. So these are really beautiful as well. Okay, I'm not gonna go through all of them because I still have like 3 more to show you, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's gorgeous, very, very pretty. All right, let's go to the next one. This deck that I'm going to show you is really a deck that has helped me a lot in my worst time in my life. It's very healing. It's very beautiful. It's really helped me a lot with going through like grief and understanding just life. It's a very simple deck, but I find it that this deck is just so, it's so close to trying to understand life, you know, in a better way. And this is called Healing with the Angels. I don't think this deck is actually available to buy. I think this deck has been discontinued because of the whole situation. But I've got this actually secondhand, and this deck came to me when I was like in my worst. I'll be honest with you, in my worst time. I didn't want to even. It was just really bad. I was really, really bad. I was really, really going through some really tough things that I couldn't really shake off. And this deck came just in time. And this is a really wonderful deck to get messages from your angels or to just get some clarity. And it's just very, very simple. Again, simple keywords. The guidebook is not really that thick. But I have to honestly tell you that the messages that the guidebook gives you is enough. It is enough to kind of figure out a situation that you're trying to receive answers with. And I'll be honest with you, I love books like this because sometimes you don't want to go through like 5, 6, 7 paragraphs of one deck, right, or one card. There's times that you need that, and there's times that you don't need that, right? And for me, in the situation where I didn't want to have to read like 7,000, letters and information about one freaking deck, right? Or one card, because that was just too overwhelming. But again, this is a really wonderful wonderful deck. I do love the messages that this kind of brings in, and it's very like angel kind of healing messages, and it's beautiful. I love it. I don't know. I really don't know if you can find this anywhere. I'll be honest with you. You will have to do your little research because these are kind of hard to. There's a little nudity there. These are kind of hard to find, but if you do your research, you can probably find it secondhand. It's beautiful. Simple, but beautiful. Healing, focus, answer prayers, intention, enchantment, forgiveness, romance, nature, balance. It's very simple, but the messages you get with this deck is very like, wow. Like you'll be like blown away with the messages that you will get from this deck. I was anyway. Okay, that's that. This is a new one to my collection, and I really love this deck. I know I say that about all my decks, but I love this deck. I got this at this wasn't on Amazon. This was actually Etsy. And I discard this deck does not get talked enough. I I love this deck. I think this deck is so beautiful and so well put together. I love it. Another thing, this is one of those decks that is intuitively, right? It doesn't have a guidebook. It has like a little tiny, like information book. Yeah, but it's not really a lot. But trust me when I tell you that you don't need a guidebook with this deck, because this deck is so intuitively that it is not needed at all. It is gorgeous. The images in this deck is gorgeous. And the readings that I get with this deck, holy crap. When I use this deck, I love to journal and just sit with myself and just write. And this deck gets me going, okay? Gets me going. Such a beautiful layout. It's kind of big, but I don't mind. Very simple. The keywords and then a little bit of like a message. This one says Mother Nature, and the message says, she who gives life to all take refuge in her embrace. So it's just very beautiful. Very beautiful. I really don't hear a lot of people talking about this deck, and I think it's so like, oh, like people don't talk too much about this deck, and I don't know why, but I think we need to. We need to talk about this deck more, because this deck is beautiful. It's just absolutely so empowered. It gives you like so much empowerment and so much, like, if you have any doubts or if you have any like thoughts lingering around your mind, this will really get you thinking to a place where you probably wouldn't have never go to if you didn't pull one of these decks out. Or what? It's a really powerful deck. I think this deck is really beautiful, very powerful, and it has like the vibe of like healing. I don't know. It's just, there's something about this deck, and I really still cannot figure it out, that it just gets you, it gives you like a conversation. It wants to conversate with you. Like this isn't one of those decks that you pull a card out and you just like look at it and be like, oh, I know what that means. No, it wants to like conversate with you. It wants to sit down and have like a conversation with you. And I find myself like really, really going in depth with this deck, and I love it. I love it. This one is called Mystic Path Oracle. It's beautiful. Very, very, very gorgeous. I feel like I want to work with this again, but I love this deck. Okay, and then the last one that I want to talk to you guys about is this one right here. I'm actually working with this deck this month, and oh my god, this deck is beautiful. I recently, not recently, but it's one of the newer ones that I've gotten in my collection. I'm so blessed and so thankful and grateful that I'm able to get these decks and just really enjoy them. And I was really surprised, and so I was really enjoying this deck. This deck is actually really beautiful for self-reflection, self-awareness, and self-discovery. Yeah, that's definitely a perfect description of this deck. It's gorgeous. Again, the backing is beautiful, and the keywords are perfect. You just get one keyword, and then the guidebook in this deck is really, really, really good. It really opens you to a lot of understanding and a lot of like, but wow, did I just really get that? I mean, it makes you really like, wow, did I really just understand what that, like, it makes you doubt yourself, but then you like sit down and you're like, but no, this is really telling me this. This is really telling me what I'm thinking is not telling me. It's a really good deck. I like this deck. And the images are nice, very simple. It's nothing like crazy, right? Nothing like fantastic. I mean, like, again, I love my Sacred Destiny, and these images are really pretty. But I think that what I like about it more is more like the keywords and the messages in the guidebook. It's very, very, um, very beautiful. It's deep, but it's, it's not catching that deepness that you're gonna be sad or depressed. You're gonna be in a state of like, wow, that makes sense, It makes you say a lot of like, wow, that makes sense. Oh, wow, I didn't think about that in that way. It's really good. I do like it. It's beautiful. And I do like the images. They are beautiful. I do like it, but I really like more the message behind it in the guidebook. It's really, really gorgeous. I got, let me show you. I did a reading for myself today, and I got this one actually, right here. Begin anew. And it's funny because this deck, this card made so much sense with how I was feeling and how I'm kind of trying to figure out things, and it just made perfect sense. And then when I read it, I was like, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. So this is a really good deck. I really do like it. And it comes with this cute little green baggie. And you can get a lot of these decks, by the way, all these decks you can get in Amazon. They're not hard to find. The only one that is difficult to find is probably this one right here, which is the Healing with the Angels. And they're really not that difficult to find. You probably, this one is not in Amazon. This one is definitely in Etsy, and then this one is hard to find. But everything else you can definitely get in Amazon. All right, my loves. I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this gives you some ideas. If you guys are like kind of wondering like what can I kind of do to try to figure out like, things that I have questions or reflections that you kind of want to go more deep in, and need some deck recommendations, these are really wonderful for that. And I hope that this will give you some ideas, some inspirations on trying to use them for yourself and for your better understanding. So yeah, so I hope that this is helpful. I'm gonna do I definitely gonna do a self-care routine, sit down with you guys and go in depth and explain to you what do I do when I do a self-care routine. And we're going to do a few other projects that I have in mind that I'm very excited to bring to you guys. All right, my loves, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this really brought someone some ideas. I hope that if you guys have any doubts about using oracle decks, or if you have any like feelings of like you don't know how to read oracle decks, so you don't want to buy them, don't do that to yourself. Don't have those thoughts, because we got to start somewhere. Yeah. And so yeah, hopefully this helps you. All right, I love you all. I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.